That night, I did something ridiculous in the cinema. I thought, yet those who play with fire will ultimately be reduced to ashes. That beam of light in the movie? It didn't just illuminate my flaws. It also completely destroyed my once happy and fulfilling family. My name is Su Qing. I'm 30 years old this year. In the eyes of outsiders, I'm an enviable full-time housewife, living in a 200 square meter penthouse. Her husband, Zhou Yan, is a well-known architectural designer in the industry. Mature and steady, we also have a lovely son, Lila. But only I know that. How cold is this gleaming golden cage? Zhou Yan is a workaholic. Once the project gets underway, it's common to not go home for 10 days or half a month, even if I come back. Also reeking of alcohol and strange perfume. Just fall asleep on the sofa. Leave me with the empty house and the silent night. I've not tried to communicate at all, but he always says I work too hard. Isn't it all for the sake of this family? One sentence silenced all my grievances. To kill this suffocatingly long time, I started looking for various hobbies. I've tried flower arrangement, oil painting, and yoga. Yet, I always feel like something's missing. Until I walked into Rhythm Fitness Club. Here I met Ace. He's the most popular dead corner in the club. 27 or 28 years old, with healthy sun-browned skin. When smiling, there are two slight dimples at the corners of the eyes. Unlike Joyan's stern demeanor, Azzy has a vibrant presence about her. A vibrant and energetic atmosphere. He's very good at manipulating emotions. When I do squats to my limit, he would shout Sister Jin from the side. You're amazing. Hold on 3 more times. When I stretch, he would bend down, gently adjusting my posture with fingers covered in thin calluses. Breath whispers in my ear. It makes my heart flutter with excitement. The way he looked at me, it's pure appreciation. They see me as a charming woman, and not Mrs. Zhou, Lila's mother. This feeling of being seen and valued, like a powerful catalyst. My heart, which had remained silent for so long, suddenly boils with excitement. How did the defense lines collapse? It was a night with torrential rain. I drove to the gym. The tire burst halfway along the road. There are no villages ahead or shops behind. I'm so anxious that I'm about to cry. And at that time, her husband Zhou Yan was still on a business trip. Out of desperation, I called Azzy. It wasn't long before Ace arrived on his motorcycle. The rain wet his hair and clothes. Yet he completely ignored it. Crouched next to the car, he skillfully changed my tire for me. Rainwater dripped down from the tips of his hair. His focused profile in the dim light appears particularly masculine. All right, the cleaning can start now. He stood up straight, wiped the rainwater from my face, showed me a bright smile. At that moment, I saw that he was completely soaked, yet still full of energy. Think again about the cold, empty house at home and Zhou Yan's indifference. A strong emotion surged in my heart. I suddenly hugged him tightly. Thank you, Azzy. His body stiffened, then gently hugged me back. Sister Chin, it's okay. That's exactly the prophecy. This unexpected interlude, it became the beginning of the defense line's collapse. My relationship with Azzy, it completely changed after that night. I know this is wrong. I have a husband, a life that seems perfect to outsiders with a son and a partner. But that heart, which has been buried in loneliness for too long, once ignited, and then one becomes fearless and unscrupulous. We started in the storage room and underground garage of the gym. Even in the bedroom where Zhou Yan and I sleep, I indulge in this extreme contrast of stimuli. I thought I had the control of the game. I thought it was just a little bit of variety in my boring life. I forgot. Those who play with fire will eventually be reduced to ashes. Destruction came on Children's Day. It's been half a year since Zhou Yan. For the first time, I offered to spend the holiday with Lele. The three of us went to the mall and had a big meal together. Then I went to watch a movie. Layla kept insisting on watching that animated movie. When buying tickets, a kind of abnormal labyrinth one, a nearly frenzied desire for thrills gripped me. I sent Aziz the theater number and seat number. It's very dark in the theater. Colorful animated lights flickered across the big screen, accompanied by the children's cheerful laughter. Our seats are in the middle, towards the back. Joanne sat on the far right. Layla is sitting in the middle. I'm sitting on the far left. 10 minutes into the movie, I sat down in the seat that had been empty on my left. Something familiar to a person. A faint scent of sporty perfume wafts towards me. It was Aziz. My heart was with him in that moment, almost bursting out of my throat. On the left is a lover who shouldn't be seen in public. On the right is the husband of a child who's sitting across from them. The sense of dread that's so close to me makes my whole body tremble. The moment the screen goes dark, a Chang reached out his hand. I bit my lower lip, not daring to make a sound. I turned my head. You can even see Lele holding popcorn in his hands, laughing so hard I could barely stand straight. I can see Zhou Yan leaning back in his chair, a relaxed and enjoyable expression. It's so exciting! That extreme dizziness of doing somersaults on a steel wire rope. It completely drove me insane. What exactly was shown in the movie? I couldn't focus on a single image at all. All of my senses, all concentrated in that darkness on the left side. Until a beam of light pierced through the darkness. It was a flashlight function on a mobile phone. Bright, cool white light beams. Without any warning at all, it hit the hem of my messy clothes. I followed the direction of the light. Zhou Yan glanced over Lale's head. Holding a phone in hand, the light reflected on his face. His facial muscles were contorted with extreme shock and anger. And twisting those flat eyes. At this moment, Shi Lang's eyes were filled with bloodshot veins. Zhou Yan originally wanted to take a look. Did Lele spill popcorn on herself? Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something unusual happening on my side. Time came to a complete halt in that single second. It felt like the blood in my entire body started flowing backward in an instant. Hands and feet are ice cold. The body was stiff as ice. A Chang suddenly pulled his hand back, crouched in the chair as if shocked. Thud, Zhou Yan pushed Layla away violently. He rushed at me like an enraged lion. He didn't even question anything. Didn't say anything. The loud noise startled the entire theater. The sound of the movie was drowned out by people's screams. It makes me feel utterly desperate. An utterly ridiculous scene also took place. That person who keeps saying it's all for your sake, men who are willing to give up their lives for it, don't even dare to fight back. He just held his head tightly in his hands. Crouched in the aisle between the seats, mending for mercy like a mouse with its tail stepped on. Those few words of begging for mercy, like a knife stabbing into my chest. I fell to the ground. Looking at this absurd scene, Layla cried loudly in terror. Everything around is filled with the flashing lights from mobile phones. And people's gossiping and pointing fingers. He looked down at me and the puddle of mud on the ground. There was only disgust in his eyes as if he were looking at trash. He didn't hit me.
He simply picked up Lele, who was crying loudly.
Coldly left a message. Wait for my lawyer's letter tomorrow. That night, I didn't even enter my own house. My clothes and bags, packed into several black garbage bags, left outside the house. I was banging on the door like a madman, crying and shouting for Zhou Yan. Han Leila's response to me was nothing but endless darkness. Just half a month, I went through hellish days. Zhou Yan gathered all the evidence. Let me leave the marriage with nothing. That afternoon, after completing the divorce procedures, I went to look for Aziz, but it turned out he had already. Resigning is like vanishing without a trace. Vanished without a trace. I went to the gym to ask around. Some say he's had an affair with another female trainee for a long time. Some say he's a habitual fraudster who preys on people's money and charms them. Now I understand. The love and excitement I thought I had. It was nothing more than a carefully orchestrated scam. I stood in the middle of the bustling shopping mall. Suddenly burst into laughter. Laughter made tears stream down uncontrollably. It turns out I have a warm home. A lovely son. A stable life in exchange for excitement and love. He's actually a complete coward. Now, whenever I close my eyes, you'll see that beam of light in the cinema. That beam of light didn't just illuminate my flaws. It was also completely shattered. I could have spent the second half of my life in peace. Later on, I often stand outside the wall of Zhou Yan's penthouse. Looking from afar at the window with the light on, my heart is filled with endless regret. I want to tell Lele, Mom misses him very much. I want to tell Zhou Yan, I know I was wrong. But I know nothing can be brought back to how it was. Can you please stop touching me? I really feel disgusted. After saying this sentence, my marriage has changed. Husband starts every weekend now. I run marathons every time without fail. Only 1/3 of the salary is given to me. I've completely stopped caring about household matters. I have no idea how things turned out like this. My name is Zhou Min, 31 years old this year, 7 years married. My husband's name is Chun Yu, working as a dispatcher at a logistics company. Monthly salary of over 9,000. Well-proportioned figure. Ordinary looking. The personality is also ordinary. The only thing that's truly heartwarming about him is how much he cares about his family. After work, I do everything. Wash vegetables, cook, mop the floor, and do the laundry. We have a 5-year-old daughter. The days passed by smoothly, but it's also solid and reliable. Everything started on that night 2 months ago. That day was Thursday. I just got back from working overtime at the company. I'm so tired that it feels like all my energy has been drained. I work as a client executive at an advertising agency. Being forced to change the plan countless times by the client every day is driving me crazy. When I get home, I still have to deal with my child's various needs. That day, my daughter was especially fussy. She insists that I accompany her in building Lego. I squatted on the ground with her for an hour. My back is about to break from all this bending. Finally managed to get her to sleep. I'm collapsed on the sofa. Don't even have the energy to keep scrolling through my phone. Chan Yu also came back from working overtime that day, half an hour later than me. When he entered the door, holding a bag of strawberries in my hand, said with a smile that she saw it while passing by the fruit shop, "Didn't you say you wanted to eat strawberries? Bought it for you." I took a sniff. Didn't even move a muscle. He came out after taking a bath. Sit next to me. First, help me massage my shoulders. The technique is quite comfortable. I kept my eyes closed and said nothing. His hand slowly moved downward. He wrapped his arms around my waist. My body stiffened for a moment, but didn't say anything. He brought his face closer, saying "wife" in my ear. We haven't been intimate in ages. Let's go to bed early today. My heart skipped a beat. To be honest, I really don't want to. Last month, I went to the hospital for a checkup due to breast hyperplasia. The doctor said to get plenty of rest. Don't overwork yourself. Plus, there's been a lot of work-related stress lately. I can't feel any interest in that kind of thing at all. I pushed his hand away and said I was too tired today. Let's do it another day. He hasn't given up yet. They came over again and said it's been over a month already. You're tired every time. When am I not tired? Just for a little while, okay? My temper flared up immediately. I got scolded by a client during the day that day. Saying the plan has been revised 8 times still isn't enough. The child made a fuss again when I got home at night. Now he's coming to bother me again. I pushed him away violently. The sound was so shrill that it scared me myself. Can you please stop touching me? I really feel disgusted. When these words were spoken, the air itself seemed to have frozen. Chan Yu's hand froze mid-air. The expression looks like someone just slapped them. He stared at me for several seconds. The eye sockets gradually turned red, but stood there without saying a word. Got up, turned around, and went into the study. Gently closed the door. I stared at the closed door. My heart skipped a beat. But I'm too tired to think much anymore. Just fell asleep on the sofa. Woke up the next morning. I noticed that there was a blanket covering me. There's warm porridge and fried eggs in the kitchen. Chan Yu has changed his clothes and is ready to go out. He glanced at me. The voice was very calm, Zhou. Let me tell you something. Starting from this month, I'll only pay you 2,000 yuan as living expenses. I'll arrange the rest myself. Take care of the household chores yourself. I might not have as much time to deal with it in the future. I thought he was joking. Smiling, is that really necessary? I just said something out of anger. You're such a petty man. He didn't laugh. He took a registration form out of his bag and handed it to me. This is the half marathon I signed up for. Starting next month. I'll go to training every weekend from now on. I also go for runs after work on regular days. You find me disgusting. Then I won't touch you. But you can't stop me from doing what I like. I took a look at that registration form. Looked at him again. I think he's completely unreasonable. Are you crazy? You've never run before. Why run a marathon at all? He said I always need to find something to do. Otherwise, I'd be around you all day long. In the end, you'll still despise me. Don't worry, I'll give you your fair share of the salary. But don't worry about the rest. After saying that, he left with his bag on his back. The moment the door closed, I'm a little panicked inside. But most people think he's just being spiteful. Men usually calm down after a few days. But this time, I really was wrong. The days to come, Chan Yu seemed like a completely different person. In the past, the first thing he did when he got home from work was to go to the kitchen. Now he's back, changed into his sports clothes and gone out for a run. Running for an hour or two at a time. In the past, on weekends he would stay at home with the kids, helping to tidy up the house. It's now a little after 5 in the morning on Saturday. He got up, put on those newly bought running shoes, carry a water bag on the back. As soon as you go out, it's a whole day until you return. What I can't stand the most is, he started buying various running gear. Running shoes range from over 300 to over 1,000 in price. Also bought a sports watch. Compression pants, windproof jacket, energy gels, salt pills. Just these messy things cost thousands of dollars. I used to manage his paycheck card. Every month he saves 1,500 for expenses. Now he only pays me 2,000 as his salary. The remaining 7,000 is all in my hands. I don't even know what he spends his money on. The changes at home are even more noticeable. Previously, the rice, flour, oil, and grain were about to run out. He brings it home after work. Now that those things are gone, they're just gone. I have to remember it myself. Go to the supermarket to buy large bags of rice. I carried it from the first floor to the 5th floor all by myself. So tired that I can't straighten my back. In the past, it was her job to bathe and put the daughter to bed. Now she says, you go ahead and do it. I just finished a 10-kilometer run. My legs are all weak. In the past, when the light bulb at home broke, the faucet is leaking. She fixed it on the same day. The toolbox is now on the balcony. He didn't even give me a glance. I spent ages trying to turn it with a wrench by myself. My fingers are all worn raw. Once my daughter had a fever at kindergarten. The teacher called and asked me to go pick her up. I was in the midst of a crucial meeting regarding a project at that time. If I can't leave, I'll call Chun-Yu. He answered the call. I'm out of breath, but I'm still doing interval training. There are still 5 groups unfinished. You go pick her up first. I'll come over after I finish running. I was so angry that my voice trembled. My daughter has a fever of 38.5 degrees. Can't you just stop for a moment? He said you live closer to the kindergarten than I do. I really can't leave right now. You come to me first. Then the call was hung up. I rushed out of the conference room alone. Take a taxi to pick up the child. On the way to the hospital, holding him in my arms, tears kept flowing uncontrollably. I remember my daughter coughing twice in the middle of the night when she was little. He's extremely nervous. Insist on getting up to take your temperature. Now, his own daughter has a high fever. None of them compare to the importance of his interval running sessions. Arrived at the hospital. Registration, queuing, blood drawing, and getting medication. I ran up and down alone, carrying the child in my arms. A woman next to her also taking her child to see a doctor. Her husband helped hold the bags, pass water, and comfort the child. I felt so sad after reading it. Chun-Yu didn't arrive until almost 2 hours later. Still wearing soaked workout clothes. Sweat dripped from her hair. Carrying a bag of bread and a box of milk in my hands. You handed it to me and said you haven't eaten yet, right? Just cover it for now. I didn't answer. I just watched him. Suddenly feel so unfamiliar. I had a huge argument with him. I challenged him, asking if he didn't want this home anymore. You don't care at all when your daughter is sick. What exactly do you want? He looked at me calmly and said, do as you please. I just want to do things that make me happy. In the past, I revolved around you and the child. You think I'm disgusting. I'm going for a run now. You're complaining again that I don't care about the family. Prove what exactly you want me to do. He caught me off guard with his question. He continued, when you said I was disgusting, have you ever thought about how I feel? We're husband and wife. You find it disgusting even when I just touch you. What am I then? Roommates in a shared apartment. Running at least makes me feel like I'm still useful in some way. At least finish those 20 kilometers. I'll feel like I'm not that bad after all. He said it all at the end. The voice sounded a bit choked up. But he didn't cry. Turned around and left. That night, I'm sitting alone in the living room, thinking about the things he said, thinking about everything that's happened these past few months. I admit it. I was indeed excessive when I said those 2 words, disgusting. But that was just said in a moment of anger. As for destroying the entire house. But then again, I think, if it were him saying that to me, I'd find it disgusting. What will happen to me? I guess I'll be heartbroken for the rest of my life. Days passed by like this, one after another. Chun-Yu completed his marathon and recorded his results. Not bad. It took 23 minutes to run 5 kilometers. He signed up for the next one. Also added an off-road race. The equipment gets more and more expensive as I buy more of it. The time spent going out is getting longer and longer. Every weekend, he was carrying a huge backpack for hiking. Left before daybreak. I didn't come back until it got dark at night. As soon as I entered, I collapsed on the sofa. I don't even have the energy to say a word to my daughter. My monthly salary plus the 2,000 yuan he gives me. In total, it's just a little over 7,000. Paid off the $3,000 mortgage. The remaining 4,000 needs to be managed as well. The 3 people's eating, drinking, and basic needs. The daughter's tuition and various household expenses deplete our funds every month. I watched my colleagues get new phones and new clothes. Taking the kids to the amusement park on the weekend. I can't even afford to sign my daughter up for dance classes. One night, I'm insomniac again. I dug out those videos I'd taken on my phone before. Seeing Chan Yu wearing an apron and cooking in the kitchen. Seeing him and his daughter building with blocks on the floor, laughing like a child. Seeing him being so careful. Put my paycheck card in my hands. Say to your wife, keep this for this month. Those scenes flashed by one after another. My tears streamed down like a thread that's been cut. I finally understand. Can you please stop touching me? I really feel disgusted. It's not just a mere outburst of anger. That was at the moment when he was most vulnerable and in greatest need of acceptance. Delivered the most devastating blow to him. He showed me his goodwill. They want to get closer to me. It's about restoring the intimacy between husband and wife. But I rejected him in the most vicious way possible. The person who's always been so kind to me pushed it thousands of miles away. Later, my mom found out about us. She sighed and said, "It's fate. A man's heart is also made of flesh. You reject him every day. Even if you dislike him, he still feels pain. He'll also refrain from touching you out of respect. It's not that I don't want to touch it anymore. Don't dare to touch it anymore. He's afraid you'll stab him again." I cried for a long time, holding my mother in my arms. I want to apologize to her. But seeing him leave early and return late every day, looks completely exhausted, ready to fall asleep right away. I can't open my mouth. I'm afraid he'll say that he realizes his mistake now. If I'm late, I'm afraid he really won't care anymore. But I still want to give it a try. Yesterday, I took his running clothes that were piled up on the balcony. Everything was washed and neatly folded, then placed by his bedside. I sent him a message, "Honey, come back early tonight. Daughter misses you." "I miss you too." He replied with just one word, "Okay." I don't know if this counts as a start to making up. But I know I'll never say those words again. Every hurtful word said in marriage, they're all just one nail after all. You can pull it out, but that hole will always be there. Don't wait until your heart's chilled to try to warm it. Don't wait until you've lost it to try to get it back. Speak nicely. It's a lesson we must learn throughout our lives.